Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Ted Erhart. Today I just want to talk about a retirement planning strategy that I'm actually implementing right now with a number of different clients that were taken through the retirement planning process. And this is particularly relevant in this high inflationary environment that we're living through right now. So the strategy is delaying Social Security, even if that means we got to spend down a bigger chunk of a retirement portfolio for a couple years to get those deferral credits. That's what we're talking about. Let's get into it. Now, if you were to ask me what are the big risks for retirees or for a retirement plan, well, there's a number of things I would mention, but three of them that come to mind. Number one would be someone who has a long life expectancy. Therefore, that means their portfolio has to last many, many years. And if you added on top of that a period of time where investment returns were very poor and inflation was very high, that combination of ingredients would create for a very challenging scenario. But as it turns out, the scenario I just described makes deferring Social Security out to the maximum age 70 look exceptionally good on paper. And that's because Social Security has these generous deferral credits after your full retirement age, and it's indexed for inflation. So just a quick refresher, once you reach your full retirement age, Social Security is going to give you 8% deferral credits for every year you wait up until a max age 70. And unfortunately, it's kind of messy right now because we're in the middle of this phase-in where full retirement age is transitioning from 66 all the way up to 67. Once we get out a couple more years, basically everybody's going to be to the point where 67 is full retirement age. So you'll be eligible for a max of a 24% boost to your full retirement age benefit. Now, let me just illustrate this on paper, how deferring Social Security in an inflationary environment can be so powerful. So let's just say Bob, for instance, is 67 and he's deciding he's going to defer Social Security out until age 70. So like we just mentioned, he's going to get these 8% annual deferral credits, but on top of that, he's going to get these cost of living adjustments because Social Security is adjusted for inflation. Right now, the last couple months, inflation's been running at about an 8% annualized rate. So let's just assume that's what it's going to be for this year. And then we'll assume that it kind of gradually tapers off. So in this case, Bob's actually going to get 8% plus another 8% in the cost of living adjustment. His benefit's going to go up by 16% for deferring. And you can see we can extrapolate this out. And long story short, let's say Bob was a professional, had high earnings for much of his career, so his benefit, full age 67, was estimated at $3,000. Well, deferring in this instance is going to increase his benefit over 3 years by almost 50%. And not only is it going to increase, up to 50%, he's going to lock that in, but that means all future cost of living adjustments are going to be on top of that larger benefit base. Now, here's the last thing I want to show you. This is an example of a timeline. I like to create timelines when we're doing retirement planning for clients so they can kind of visualize how their monthly income is actually going to continue once they stop working. But let's just take Bob and Sally, for example. We're implementing a split strategy where Sally's drawing Social Security early, but I'm going to have Bob defer. We're going to have to spend down a greater portion of their retirement savings early, but then their needed withdrawals are going to significantly go down. So I just want to point out a couple of things here. So early in retirement, and by the way, our target in this example, they want about $8,000 per month of after-tax income. So they're going to have to take pretty heavy retirement withdrawals for these 3 years that Bob's deferring Social Security, $8,000 per month. But once Bob flips Social Security on, look how significantly their needed withdrawals go down, over 50%. And here's kind of the most important point I want to make. We get out here till age 70, and between Bob and Sally, about 2/3 of their required income to meet their investment or their income objective is going to be not only guaranteed by Social Security, but it's going to be protected against inflation. That's an exceptionally strong position to be in. So in other words, only a third of their other retirement income or of their total retirement income is going to have to be supported by their investment portfolio. So this is an approach I really like, again, in an inflationary environment, because what also tends to go hand in hand with high inflation is rising interest rates, which means investment returns are poor. So if we, had an inkling or we felt there was a high probability returns were going to be lower, I would rather therefore use part of my investment portfolio, spend that down where returns aren't really going to be good in an effort to get these guaranteed annual increases via my Social Security benefit. So if you're closing in on retirement, and especially if you're concerned about this tough environment that I described, where investment returns are low, inflation's high, and in addition to that, if you expect to live into your 90s, deferring Social Security can be a really effective strategy in hedging against those types of risks. So I hope that was helpful today. Look, if you want to have a conversation about retirement planning and Social Security specifically, that's really my focus. Please feel free to reach out. And hey, like our Facebook page, subscribe on YouTube, depending on where you're watching. It really helps get the message out. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.